In this video, we will provide a tour of the PDFix Desktop dashboard. In another video, we will provide a tour of the PDFix Desktop from within the document view. But in the PDFix Desktop dashboard, starting at the bottom, there are tabs that we can use to organize our documents and help us organize our workflow. If we need to add an additional tab, we can just hit the plus sign to add a tab. We can rename that tab by right-clicking on it and choosing Rename. Or if we're done with a tab, we can also right-click on that tab and then choose Close Tab. At the top of the dashboard, we have a number of tabs, many of which we find in other applications as well, such as File, Edit, and View. And then we have the Actions tab and we have the Help tab. The Actions tab we'll come back to later, but starting from looking at the options in the Help tab, when I select that tab, I can open up the validation profiles. In the validation profiles, I can see the various checkpoints that are tested when we run a validation against various standards. For example, PDF UA1 is selected in the validation profiles, and we can see the various clauses in PDF UA1, the checkpoints that will be tested. Similarly, if I wanted to test against WCAG 2.2, I could navigate to WCAG 2-2 Complete in the drop-down menu, and then I would be able to see the WCAG success criteria as well as the PDF UA clauses that would be tested against when we run a WCAG 2-2 Complete validation. Back again to the Help tab and to Settings. This is the application preferences. So for Mac users, you would open up your application preferences, and there are a number of tabs in the preferences dialog box. I won't necessarily go through all of them, but we'll touch on some highlights. On the first tab, the General tab, we can check the checkbox for automatically check for updates. This way, when there's an update to PDFix or perhaps to Docker images for the external actions that we might want to run, the notification bell in the upper right-hand corner of PDFix would be highlighted and show that there's an update that we could then go and download the updates. Also, on the General tab, the validation profile down near the bottom of that dialog box. The default validation profile when you download PDFix is PDF UA1. However, if, for example, you wanted to validate your documents against WCAG 2.2, you could expand that drop-down menu, choose WCAG 2-2 Complete, and then make that your default validation profile so that when you hit the Validate button, you're testing against WCAG 2.2. If I wanted to put that back to PDF UA1, then I could hit the Reset button at the lower left corner of the preferences and just reset this. I get the dialog. It's asking me if I want to reset my current settings. Go ahead and hit OK. And then my default validation profile is back to PDF UA1, for example. In many of the other tabs, the Display tab and the Panels tab and so on, there's a number of things that we can do. For example, changing tool colors on the Display tab, or in the Panels tab, we can change the color of the panels as they would be displayed in the document view. We can also choose what panels are available by default or are hidden in the document view, for example, and even change the arrangement of those panels. Again, this is in the document view, and I'll show these panels in more detail when we do the video on navigating PDFix in the document view. Also, the Tags panel. When you're in the document view, if you're doing manual remediation, you will have a panel for quick access tags, so that if you need to manually tag something. If you need to make additional tag types available for manual remediation, go to the quick access tags and you can check that box, and then you would have additional tag types available to use. Again, you can change colors for the tags and so on, and you can even change the line color, fill color, and line width and so on when we have reading order toggled on in the document view. And also the shortcuts tab, navigating to the shortcuts tab now. One of the great things about PDFix is you can actually create your own keyboard shortcuts for the functions or the actions that you use most often. From the shortcuts tab, you can scroll to find the action or the function that you want to find, or you can simply search for it in the find field, and then PDFix will take you there, and then you can assign a keyboard shortcut as needed. Finally, from the preferences, navigating over to the accessibility tab, we can check various checkboxes for general accessibility, show focus, or use an accessibility theme. And we can even change the font size, for example, for the various buttons and so on in PDFix itself. So that's a quick tour of the preferences. Back to my dashboard now. The view that I have now, I have some documents loaded in my PDFix dashboard. If I need to add additional documents, I can simply grab them from wherever they are and drag them into the dashboard. I could even drag in a complete folder all at once if I needed to, or I could use the plus button to add files to the dashboard. Similarly, I could select a file and then I would be able to use the delete button. Looks like a little trash can. Would not actually delete the file, it just removes it from my dashboard view, right? I'm still keeping the PDF wherever it's saved, it just not, it wouldn't be in my PDFix dashboard anymore. I'm going to then go over to the right hand side of these buttons in the toolbar to the show widgets button. And there's a couple of toggles here. One is to show preview, and when I toggle that on, then if there's a document selected, it will show me a preview for what document I have selected. So I can, for example, make sure that I've selected the document I really intended to before I do further remediation on it, for example. If I don't have a document selected, there's an overview, welcome to PDFix Desktop, including links to install Java. For example, if you need to install Java for validation or to install Docker, you'll also find links to our release notes and our user guide and so on. But with a document selected, we've got the preview, and then also another widget is to show validation. So when I turn that on, then I also, in addition to the document preview, I can also see the validation panel, so that when I select the document, for example, and then I run a validation, then the results for that validation would show up in this validation panel. And then if I select an issue, for example, like there's issues with tables, about table rows, and then in the window below there's a description giving me more specific detail about the error that came up, right, in the particular document. Or, for example, I can run a validation against batches of documents, and then it would show me, what errors are common, across all of the documents. I can use this then to run actions either with the fix error button from the validation panel, or, and we'll get into this in more detail soon, I could select various files and run actions to then address the issues that have come up. Speaking of actions, I mentioned that there's the Actions tab in the dashboard, as well as in the row of buttons below the tabs for File, Edit, and Actions and so on. There's a button to run actions. So I can, for example, select a document, or with the enterprise version of PDFix, I can select multiple documents, and then I could run actions, right, to fix various issues in these documents. And then there's various categories for accessibility, some common accessibility actions that might be run, or actions to run for specific tags. For example, if I needed to fix the document tag or provide alternative text for figures, and I can even do that using various AI models and so on. If I needed to move tags or linearize or otherwise work with tables, for example, or if I needed to run OCR. So let's say, for example, I have a batch of documents that are all scanned. I could just select that batch of documents and run OCR on all of them, and then I could continue on, remediating as needed. Also, either from the Actions tab, we can get to the Actions Manager, or also I could use the Actions Manager button in the toolbar. Brings up the Actions Manager, and here I can either edit some pre-loaded and pre-created actions, or actions that have been shared with me that I've imported into PDFix. Or I can create custom actions that, if I run a validation on a batch of documents and I see that there's all of these common issues that need to be remediated or need to be fixed, I could create a custom action. I can name it whatever I want to, provide a description, and then I could put in a series of actions to address the issues that have come up, creating my own custom action. And then, of course, I could save that, and then I would also be able to export my custom action and share it with coworkers, or if I'm using the SDK, I could export my action and then import it into the SDK to use it. And then right next to, in the Actions Manager, right next to export, is the button to import. So if a coworker has created an action or a template or whatever that's helpful for me to use, then I could import that and put that into my PDFix. Also in the toolbar, there's the button for Docker. So if you've downloaded and installed Docker, then you are able to use external actions. So for example, the font fix callus action is one that we use often. It's a very powerful action for fixing a lot of issues dealing with fonts. This is an external action. So we get this from Docker. So once Docker has been installed, then we can install the action. You'll notice that in my external actions dialog, everything has been installed, so nothing says needs to be installed or not installed, for example. If something did need to be installed, I would simply select it, and then at the top left is the install button, and then I would be able to install that action. Also, in the buttons going across the dashboard now, we have our various validation buttons. So I have the button where I could select a file or multiple files and then run my validation. My default validation is PDF UA. However, if I did want to test against another standard, I could open up the validation drop-down menu and choose, for example WCAG 2-2 complete, and then I could validate against that standard to see how we did. Then we have a couple of options. For example, to remediate documents, we could auto tag, and then if I run this again with PDFix Desktop Enterprise, I can even select multiple files and auto tag them all at once. That action is simply, however, going to just retag documents or add tags to documents. Very similar to add tags in Acrobat, for example. However, I could also use auto tag and then upload my own template. If I had a template created for these files, I could run a template and then auto tag that way. However, again, that's just auto tagging. Another popular and powerful action to use is make accessible, the next button in the toolbar. When I open that up, it's the run action for make accessible. And in this sequence of actions, there is not only auto tag, where we can again overwrite any existing tags maybe that are already in some of the documents. I can use a template if needed. to auto tag the documents as well. But also there's a number of other actions that are needed for accessibility beyond just the tagging. For example, fixing fonts and fixing headings. Maybe we need to fix the tag tree, the parent tree as well, right? There's a number of actions in Make Accessible to truly make the document accessible beyond just adding tags. Hopefully this gives a good quick overview of the PDFix desktop dashboard. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are more than happy to help. If you're in Europe, reach out to us at support@pdfix.net. And if you're in the US, send us an email to sales@pdfix-us.com.